Man, I can't tell y'all how excited I am about this upcoming interview, man. I've been after this interview for a long time, and honestly, this to me is one of them trophies. You feel me? Like I don't get a lot of trophies in this game, but this is one of them. So, know what I'm saying? Right now, we at Leaders, 1354, 1152 West Madison. If you're not familiar, get in tune, man. Let's go check it out.
And being at Leaders was really cultivating not only Chicago, but the region, the Midwest region, into other people to opening up stores and supplying stuff for the sneaker and streetwear culture. Right. Because it really wasn't like prevalent. It was non-existent.
I'm Sid.
And I'm LMS. This is Fake Decent. We're here at Leaders in Chicago, dropping the Fake Decent by Leaders collaboration.
I see the effect with my money when I shop with Corey.
Today is a special day for Flight School TV. Me personally, if I'm really being selfish about it, because this is somebody that I really look up to and admire. Not because of his achievements, which is a lot. Not just because of what he's doing right now, which is a lot. But the simple fact that somebody that can reach your level of success and still be that humble guy, and you know what I'm saying, still be a person that people can come to for advice and mentorship, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that I feel like outside of the clothes and the merchandise and all that stuff, I feel like that's the core Leaders. You know what I'm saying? The fact that people can walk in here and have a conversation with you, you know what I'm saying, outside of just making a purchase. It's been so many young kids that came through these doors, whether it's this location or other ones that you had in the past, that can just walk in and tell you stories about what's going on in their life, and y'all can give them solid advice. That go beyond a retail location or a clothing store. That's really next level, and as far as community involvement, you know what I'm saying? So that's why this interview is so special to me, because I know a lot of the history. I don't know it all. I'm here to find out today. But that's why this interview is so important to me, and I had to say that on camera. But if y'all not familiar with my guest today, this is Corey Gilkey from Leaders, and a lot of this stuff I don't have to really reiterate. If a good interview that you can watch is Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody podcast. Shout out to Coley and his wife doing their thing over there. Definitely look up Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody podcast and watch their interview for a lot of the stuff that if we don't answer it in this interview, you can go to them and you can find out a lot of information that you may not know. So because after watching that interview, I learned a lot. Like you wanted to play baseball originally. You actually went to college for it and was really good, but you had an injury in that sport, right?
But I got better. I got faster after surgery and stuff like that. So it wasn't an excuse of why I didn't get drafted. I just want to say, this is my guy. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? I had to do that. You know what I'm saying? I watched all of the showcase that you did with all of the guys from Chicago. I just want to say thank you. I think Chicago needs that. I appreciate you doing that, taking the lead, and creating your own business or platform for yourself, and seeing and acknowledging that this wasn't done.
Yeah.
That all the interviewers that you got on camera were true, like, aficionados in the business who really explained thoroughly the story and the history of urban streetwear sneaker culture in Chicago. I just want to say I appreciate it. That's why I'm doing this. I hate interviews.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm out the way. So don't call me OG no more. Call me OTW. I'm out the way. It's y'all time. It's y'all life. We just do our thing. We sit back quietly and run our business like we've been doing since the crew days. We always minded our own business. We never stepped on any toes. If we didn't like your stuff, we didn't like your stuff. But if we liked your stuff, we gave you information that can help you get better.
Yeah, but the stuff that you did, actually, like, even though y'all had a name for yourself as far as like being in Chicago, like, still to this day, y'all don't shy away from doing collabs with less known brands.
You know? Guys who have 200, 300 followers, they got a dope concept or whatever. We work with them. It's like that stuff. I mean, social media is just so fake and it's hilarious at the same time. So it's good and bad with it. But these kids, these Generation Zs and Millennials, if they don't get that opportunity, they might hang themselves, man. They might get depressed or something like that. It's really sad out here. So we just try to lend our help and lend our hand. And we put everything on our back, on our shoulders to sell it, to create the income from it, and to pay the person that we're working with, and to give them that shine, that light, or that social media love. You know, it's just something you have to do.
That go to speak to what I said initially about everything y'all do outside of leaders. You know, like stuff like that you don't have to do. You just do it to help.
I feel we had to, because all these brands, and not saying Chicago brands, but higher society, they take advantage of these kids, you know, and we never wanted to do that. Our focus always, since crew or leaders, was to make Chicago one of the best fashion capitals in the world. Our way. And it had to be high fashion, or high end, or cut and sew, whatever. Yeah. It was just us relating what we go through every day in Chicago, you know, the second city, the third largest city in America, you know, that has all these references of sports, food, fashion, art, music, entertainment, culture. Like, we always knew that we were very, very important, because everybody that came here absolutely loves the city. So we just wanted to support the people who have talent to help them grow, and everybody have a business one day, you know.
Right. So I wanna rewind and just basically just for a brief moment speak on like where did you grow up, and like how would you explain your childhood?
My childhood was the best childhood that anyone can ever have. I wouldn't take back anything. I grew up on 92nd and Colfax, on the southeast side, and Hyde Park. So I went to St. Elizabeth, Bret Hart, Kosminski Academy, all through kindergarten and 8th grade, and back and forth. So that's always on the low end, or Hyde Park. And I went to high school in the hundreds, 101st unit in St. Francis de Sales. So I grew up with the GDs, the Boss Pimps on 93rd and Jeffrey, 92nd Street, and I grew up with the Moes, you know what I'm saying, on 53rd Street, you know what I'm saying, the Blackstones. Yeah. So I was cool with both. I'm the biggest 11 point there is, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have not no one reference to who I hung out with or what I am. I loved everything. Like my cousins, Mo's, my best friends, GDs, and we all get together and just hang out. So
yeah. So would you attribute that to the way that you eventually, the man that you eventually became, your early childhood days, like growing up in those different areas and just seeing the community?
Definitely, because you just had to have a personality. You just had to be who you were around whoever, and people love you regardless if you were truly yourself. Like I was never a different person. I was always little Corey that just wanted to play handball and get like me, play some sports and something like that, or both places. So,
So I wanna talk about your crew days. And a lot of people that might not be familiar, that was actually Corey's as far as I know, that was like one of your first businesses. As far as like
that was my first business.
Yeah. Okay. So, can you speak about that experience, like even like the challenges you faced and stuff that you was learning as you went along, and like just speak on that aspect of owning your first business.
Scared as shit, but not really scared as shit. Like opening up and knowing that me and my cousins, Clinton Payne, Keelan and Freeland, and my grandparents and his mom, we asked them for a loan. They put both of their houses up for a $25,000 loan.
They must have really believed in us.
They believed in us. You know what I'm saying? So we got the loan out. We paid it back in 6 months, but I remember 2 months, we got this money and we got this location and we paying rent on it, and we been there playing basketball. We didn't know what to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we like, man, what are our first steps? And to this day, I use what we did as a way of being successful. We hired a consultant, which was Bruce Payne.
I feel like a lot of people need to acknowledge that part, because everybody we live in a time where everybody feel like I can do everything myself.
Nah, we hired Bruce as a consultant. His uncle, Span, they had a sneaker boutique. He was one of the few black-owned businesses that had a Nike account. And Bruce grew up in that. They were in the hundreds, like close to River Oaks. And then we knew Wesley's from Wesley Shoes on 87th Street. We would always go talk to Wesley, and Wesley would say, hey, do this, do that, go to this trade show or there or whatever. So, but we hired a consultant, and we paid him to help us get accounts, and that's when we first went to Magic, and it blew us away. We went to Las Vegas to the Magic Trade Show, and we were like, yo, all right, we don't need a consultant no more. We got this now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he showed us different things. He showed us of traveling, of getting outside of Chicago, going to New York, going to LA, going to Vegas, and expanding outside of our reach and meeting new people throughout the states that were in the fashion business.
One thing after you said that, one thing that I noticed is like a common theme in a lot of the people that I interview, especially in the fashion industry, is Magic and Agenda trade shows was like pivotal.
Agenda later on.
Well,
Magic
was
Magic was magical.
So
Agenda
like,
came after that, and that's when streetwear was just like, all right, streetwear. Agenda.
so you being a person that just opened your store, just walking into a Magic trade show, like what was that experience like?
Like 50,000 square feet of just the best stuff.
Wow.
Independence, mainstream, Tommy Hilfiger booth, Polo booth,
Wow.
Carl Kanai. We looking at black guys, Maurice Malone. Like, bro, y'all really own y'all own stuff? Like, y'all really making clothes?
Yeah.
Y'all brothers? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, Rego Sport and Pure Players, just like everybody was black then. Everybody was black and in the industry and owning brands. And we were just like, yo, no one's carrying these people.
Yeah.
Why don't we be that store and carry all the black-owned brands?
Yeah.
Let's be that store. Because everything was Tommy, Nautica, Hilfiger. I mean, Tommy, Polo, Nautica, the big three. It was called the big three then.
Yeah.
And you had to just buy that. We was like, yo, look at these black. I mean, really? Carl Kanai, Maurice Malone, Shabazz Brothers, Dada Caps.
Like
Cross Cap Colors before that. That's the Diego time.
oh, okay.
April Walker, Cross Colors. Diego would tell that story. That's before
Yeah.
Urban. Those were like the forefathers of everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So was Crew was it Crew Sports?
Crew Sports.
Was Crew Sports an instant success, or did it like?
Instantly, yeah.
And
We were selling bullshit. We was going to Freshwear and buying product.
Mm.
So Bruce hooked us up with Mike Elion from Freshwear, and all his old shit, he'd be like, y'all can buy this. Because we couldn't get accounts.
Yeah.
We have account numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So the reason to get account numbers, it was a process. You had to put money in the bank. You had to build a financial statement. So we needed product to buy product because nobody would open us up. Oh, these black kids open the store. These guys serving, man. You just white people just don't have no stores in Chicago.
Right.
They doing something. So I don't know. Yeah, so we got product from Mike selling to us, and we'll go back to 87th Street and sell it out because our friends love what we were doing.
Yeah.
So this is before, like, we were selling crap, like flea market, like Chinese store stuff.
Yeah, but like
he was dumping off all the bullshit to us, and we were paying it. We were just so glue in the eyes. We was like, man, we got clothes we can sell. So, but we didn't care then. We was just like, we're gonna put this in our store and we're gonna sell it.
Right, and y'all specifically opened that store on the south side in the community.
Yes, 87 in Kimbar.
And right, exactly. And if you look at the landscape of things now, if they want to move everything up north and move everything away from the south side.
I can understand that because up south you get broken in all the time.
Right, but
you get robbed or broken in.
Right, but on the flip side of that is that it's less. We got certain areas that's food deserts. We got certain areas that you really, unless you don't have a car, you got to catch a train or bus just to go get your outfit for the day.
Thanks. I know the food desert thing. I have a restaurant in Bronzeville.
And we're going to get to that too.
People, they don't know what shredded lamb is. They want gyro. And they give us a bad review because they thought it was gyro. So we can go into that a little bit later, but I can understand that why people leave. I honestly do. It's just up to me. For my legacy, I want to come back south and do it. It was part of my mission. It was part of my plan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To give people better stuff and sacrifice that. The losses or the humiliation of even going out of business. You know how many bad reviews we get because people don't know they just want hot sauce on chicken and they want us to fry our chicken with flour and batter and grease.
And I ain't go front. You put me up on a palm frite.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even know what a frite, palm, none of that stuff was until you put me up. But I think that's another part of your legacy at the end of the day when it comes to really leading the way. Putting people up on new shit.
Yeah, I just always wanted to separate myself and do something different.
Fact.
I could have opened up another Harold's. Yeah. I could have opened up a J&J's. Nah, we don't come up with a whole nother concept. I believe in creating my own concept and running with it.
So like you spoke on like, man, you seen all those black brands in Magic, like, but that a lot of the time don't make people. They don't, just because you see a lot of black brands, a lot of black people won't buy them brands.
That's these days, not then.
Oh,
they
okay.
gravitated totally at it. Fubu and stuff like that. When that came out, Forced Bias, people went crazy.
What do you think changed as far as like that aspect?
They all went to the department stores. The department stores put the independent out of business. We couldn't compete. They went to Macy's and they went to the big guys, Man Alive and things of that nature, and the Jimmy Jazzes and stuff like that. And we couldn't compete because those are the guys who are going in like, I'm buying everything. Here's a $100,000 PO. And we like, oh, I got a $5,000 PO. They like, we need to sell this to them, bro. Get money now.
Right.
You know?
But like on a lighter note, like what were some of the best times of those crew days?
Every day. I don't take nothing away. Even right now, every day is some of the best times. You learn something every day. You meet people every day.
I know y'all was touching a lot of money at that time.
We're touching on. That's when the streets was on fire. Yeah. I would never see those days again.
Yeah, because when I did that interview with Tony Fernandez from Tony Sports, shout out to Tony, and he was talking about, man, they was hundreds of thousands a week and just going to Vegas for trips, bringing the whole team to Vegas and those type of things.
Like we would spend weeks in New York, staying at like the best hotel.
Yeah.
Like we're in New York buying and having we're there for 2 weeks, like spending $400 a night in a room, and we're there 2 weeks.
And I actually seen on Coley podcast, Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. You were saying that you made sure that when you was going, even though you was in New York, you was still looking to network and get certain brands in your store and things like that. But when you one thing that stuck out that you said was you dressed the part. You was walking in there with product and all that stuff because you knew walking in there they was gonna look you head to toe first. And you knew that you had to be presentable.
When we did the designer store, we have D&G, Moschino, Stefan Briscoe, rest in peace, just passed away 3 months ago. He was our head buyer for the designer collection that we called it. We had a designer store. And to go into those stores, like I had to have the briefcase, loafers on, you know, when you wanted Coogee, Iceberg, D&G, Moschino, but you can't go in there with an Nietzsche. Boom, baggy, you know what I'm saying, with Tim's on and stuff like that. Right. They wanted their brand next to each brand and that sophistication of a look and how you dress.
And I feel like that's a keynote that a lot of our viewers, especially our younger viewers, need to understand that if whatever position you're trying to get, whatever position you're applying for, make sure that you understand where the office you're walking in and make sure you're presentable, you look the part. So you know, we already walk in there with our skin a certain way.
But then again, like I said, we had consultants. We hired people. We're a company, a business. These guys these days, they're not hiring anybody. They think they can do it by themselves.
Right.
We've hired people. We had staff. Like we had a staff of 30 people at Crew at one time. We were general managers. They were managers. We had buyers. And we had consultants. Right. We knew what we were going into before that. So we didn't take any losses with that stuff. We made some mistakes. But we knew we had a game plan before we went in everything. And still this day, we have a staff. Diego's a GM. Trey is a manager. I have 11 people at the restaurant that they get paid every week. You know, we collect sales tax every month for the city so that our zoos are free. You know, we collect Social Security so that the people before us who worked hard and are retiring right now, they still get it. So it's a selfish industry now. People just think about themselves. We've always thought about everyone in the beginning and coming together as a unit and accomplishing our goal and what we had to get.
Yeah, and ain't nothing to ask after that. But like, I want to move on to the Leaders Days.
Okay.
Like, what year did Leaders start?
Leaders started 2002, February 17th, 2002.
And how did you come up with the name Leaders? Like, what made you run with that name?
So we had lost Crew. So Crew, the success of Crew was we started in '96. We did $500,000. 97, we did 1.5. 98, we did 2.3. 99, we did $3.5 million. We were out of business the next year for mismanagement. All right. So even the consultants that we have right now, we didn't know how to really finesse. Manage, not finesse. It's a bullshit word.
Right.
Really manage the 3.5 with the employees of cutting down, of negotiation with vendors and factors and things of that nature. And this is what Sneaker D talked about in his previous one, is about the lingo, what I'm saying. I know you don't get it, but you'll get it later on. That's why you need a consultant.
Yeah, check out the Sneaker Fiends interview I did with Big D, a classic in my opinion, and I honestly love that interview. I love it.
So we had to sell the company to JB's. We all went our separate ways, but I got picked up immediately. I was a head buyer. No, I was a consultant for the Lark stores. They had 15 stores in the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic. Lenny Rothschild was one of my mentors, all right? And I came in and I did his shoot, a department manual for him. I set up the guidelines, I trained staff, and I went and got him accounts. I got him Timberland, I got him a managers, I got him a Nike account, all right? And he paid me for that in 6 months. So after that, I fulfilled my obligation. I was hired as the Midwest sales rep for Varsity Sportswear.
Yeah.
So I ran the Midwest.
Mentioned that.
Yeah, so Ron Poison is my brother. So,
shout out to Code of Individuality, interview, another interview that y'all can look up that we did in New York.
yeah.
Man,
Ron Poison was the sales manager.
Yeah.
They all hired me to do the Midwest because they wanted James to do marketing. James Farrell, Big Buddha, my brother.
Yeah.
That's how me and AD know each other, because AD was the assistant marketing manager who came here, who's working, you know, with Puma now and everything. So we have great relationships with everybody. We know everybody's story of growth, of growing in the industry, and how many different lanes you can grow into this industry and really have opportunity to create finance for your family and take care of your family.
Facts.
So
like, what made the word leader stand out to you and attach it to your brain?
because then everybody was on the hood stuff after we built it.
Yeah.
So all of the Arab stores and Chinese stores now had Maurice Malone, Mecca, and Sean John. They had all that, and I was like, damn. Not everybody got this. Man, I want my customer to be a leader. Now these guys are followers. They just looking at BET. Whatever a rapper got on BET, they go into the store. Now they want the Nietzsche velour jogging set, same color with the matching Joes or the Tims. We got to do something different.
Yeah.
And I was on the road with all my friends. So we would caravan in the Midwest. We'd be in Detroit. There'd be like 4 of us. We would all get in a truck, put our samples in there, and set up hotel trade shows in Ohio, Michigan, Illinois. All right, sometimes we'll go to Kentucky, sometimes we'll go to Missouri, St. Louis. And I'm looking around, and the top 8 people were always busy. Sean John, Nietzsche, academics, they were busy all day. Azure. I'm looking at my other friends like, bro, y'all got some dope shit like PNB, that's dope. 555 Soul, that's dope. Raza, that's dope. Why nobody buying us?
Right.
Bro, when I get back home, I'm gonna get this money together and open up another store. Open up a small store, and I'm gonna call it Leaders, bro. Because I don't want leaders, and we want to do graphic design stuff. We want nothing with names or wording on it.
Yeah.
We want graphic design. We want to do things. We want to sell stuff that no one's buying.
Yeah.
We want creative people in the store.
So did the early days of Leaders take off faster than Cruise?
Not whatsoever, no. But I had success. I still made money, and I had a company. I still had a manager. Carlos Patterson was my first manager who ran the store. I open stores and I hire people, all right? I don't just pay myself.
Yeah.
It's not about me,
Yeah.
all right? So I had a store and we were doing good. We had made money every day. See, the retail business is about making money every day. Somebody's got to come in and buy something for you to keep getting different things, whatever. We always had a good business. It was just steady. It was just a steady, good traffic. And it wasn't about the money. It was the feedback that we got from customers that they absolutely loved what we were doing, what we were about, and what we gave them. They loved it.
So do you attribute the difference in levels of success of Leaders and Crew Sports to the times that we were living in at the time?
Interesting question. No, not really. I look at them both as the same. I look at them both as an experience of learning, of failure, of relationships. It was the same thing. Yes, it still is. Even though you can be down in business, whatever, you may meet this one guy that'll be 2% of your business that'll come in and just really appreciate what you're doing. It's the same thing was at Crew, and the same thing was at Leaders. It was no difference. It's retail. It's online. It's a customer service business.
Yeah.
You know.
But one thing that I learned after doing a few interviews and just talking to people over time was that y'all was also doing events in the community like Leaders block parties and things like that.
Yeah.
Like how was like for the people that wasn't there to see it, if they can't find it on YouTube or something, like
It's on YouTube.
Like what was going on during those times? Like you had artists come out perform, like what? How was
Man,
that?
it was Vic, Mike Hundreds, Ty, and all those guys and their nightlife music background and wanted to do more. They wanted to do more. They wanted to support their friends, you know, that did music, and we had a platform. So why not use it?
Right.
You know.
And this next question that I got in mind is that it's not something that it's not really a question for me. It's more so for the people that care about that type of thing. But like, how many shoe collabs have y'all done?
Well, we did Pony. We've done Hirachi. We've done the Reebok Reverse Jam. We've done Adidas Moccasin, and currently we did the Enzy, the Nkrumah Obama Enzy shoe. So what's that, 5?
That's dope. That new one.
We just did the BBC joint collab. We just did the Blackhawks collab on the only store or brand to ever do a collaboration with the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
We did Bud Light, Lollapalooza. We've done a bunch of stuff. Notable, like, and let's start with the smaller brands. I mean, like the local guys, like with Instrumental and Fake Decent. Now we're about to be working on the Posh Way.
We did Trap House Chicago.
We did Trap House Chicago with Mashawn. You know,
it's just so the list goes
well,
on.
IO, we did the series, the Chicago series of the different locations of out south, east, So,
like, how would you explain how you and your team, I would say, how would you explain y'all ability to keep leaders relevant after all these years? I mean, this is something that started 17 years ago.
Like, everybody playing their role and not stepping on toes. I let guys play their role. Play yours, I'm gonna play mine. Bills will get paid, heat will be on, you can open the door, won't be a letter on the door, and we'll be okay.
And I honestly, I think that you always had a good eye for talent.
Definitely.
I think that's a thing that can't be understated, because the fact that you had Diego working with you, you had Vic Lloyd working with you, a lot of guys that might not want to say, some of these guys might not want to say, hey, I work for Corey or I work with Corey. Everybody want to pump their chest out like, man, I'm self-made. But you put so many people in position, and that's not a knock to them, because if you put somebody in position, they still got to maintain it.
But that's the fashion business, though. It's that story, the arrogance and the ego. That sells.
Yeah.
That's why I don't sell as much, and I never tried to be the face of that, because I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to go to Barney's and buy stuff all the time to be like, oh yeah, I'm this fresh fashion dude. No, I want to come here and take care of my paperwork.
Right.
And build our relationships better.
Right. And that's
negotiate. You know what I'm saying? I want to sit in the back. Y'all be the face. Y'all go do all that stuff.
Right.
I'm out the way.
OTW. Hey, if anybody follows you on social media, they know what you. They know.
No, they don't. I don't have no followers. All of my guys that I raised, they got 50, 60,000 followers. I got 3 people don't like my content, and I get it. It's boring because it's work.
No, I like it. I like it because you'll have a pair of shoes and be like, I don't care about this shit, and you'll have a clean fit on, and you might post a bit. Yeah, we at this pop up, but by the end of the day, you don't care how your fit, if your fit clean or not. You just like, man, I put in work. Like I feel like that is what you highlight more so than anything. It's just like, man, fuck that material shit, man. Get to work.
No, I'm the garbage man. Like, my staff, they never had to come in when we were rebuilding stores. They never had to come in and do that stuff. Like, route and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do excavation.
Yeah.
I'm the dirty guy. I put the boxes in my truck and take it to the garbage. You know what I'm saying? I'm meeting with a contractor. I'm going to pick out the paint.
Yeah.
I want my guys to be fresh and cool.
Yeah.
That's because I wear bummy stuff because I don't know what I'm going to get myself into. Like, when I leave this interview, I got to go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know how much garbage I got to empty because I don't want my chef to have to do it.
Right.
I don't want my sous chef to have to do it. I want them to cook.
Right.
And I want my other guys to be in the back washing dishes or mopping the floor. I want my front floor manager to be running the register.
Yeah, but
I'm in the back.
Some of these guys, man, their ego won't even
They
allow
should let them have it. They supposed to do that. It's about them. Like, it's an ego business. And I'm not saying Dave has an ego, but Dave Jeff was the best here of branding himself, of being Fly Baby, Big Pop. Everyone knows Dave Jeff.
Yeah.
Everybody don't know me. They always thought Vic and everybody else owned the shop. And I was just like, cool, tell them you own it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can have that.
Yeah.
I didn't, I want to go in the club and sit in the corner and nobody come up to me and be phony with me and try to clout chase me.
Right.
I don't want nobody to know who I am.
Yeah, so them interactions is genuine.
So it's this general interaction. When I get treated and shitted at the door, I remember you. This is all good.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Man, that's a dope philosophy to live by, man.
No, this is my philosophy.
No,
I'm
speaking. I'm speaking from how I feel. I can't speak for nobody else, but I'm saying from how I feel about the game right now, and then just the way a person should be. I admire that because it's so hard to be that in these days when everybody feel like they gotta pump their chest out like, yeah, I'm that guy. A lot of times it ain't even necessary. As long as your bank straight, your family healthy.
I think it is for them, and you can't let them have a shine. If that's what they love and build around, let them have it. I'm just a totally different thing.
I ain't got nothing against it.
Exactly.
I'd rather be a Corey than you know what I'm saying.
Stay out the way.
That's just my personal philosophy. That's just something I believe in. But one thing that I always wondered, like, I always thought to myself, I'm like, man, what would leaders be if social media was like a thing back then? To like even the crew sports days. I'm saying the crew sports days even.
It still is. It was just word of mouth. It was just a different time. We can never go back to it. We can't say what should be, could be.
Right.
We were still very, very successful with barely no phones, bro. Like nothing. And we got it out there. It's ways to do that. And that's why I say with leaders, we're gonna still and stay and be the prototypical business. Like I'm having friends talk to me about artificial intelligence. Like people won't be able to have jobs anymore. When you go to a McDonald's or you go to a place, it's gonna be automated. A robot is gonna do it. We're going to have people, we're going to hire people until we can't anymore. We're going to be the place where you walk in, we greet you, we say what's up, you get a hug, a pound, and it's going to be flesh, heartbeat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That does that. A real way. And that's our philosophy.
So like your years of experience is to me like, man, like can't nobody really match that resume in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, definitely Diego. But like that's just my opinion. I mean, everybody got their own opinion. You're entitled to yours. But like, what's some of the things that you experienced that you would want to warn the next person that might be following in your footsteps, or just trying to make their way into the game, the industry, whatever it may be? Like, what's some of the things that you would say? Watch out for this. Like, if you see this person moving this type of way, be careful.
Can't, because it's clout chasing. They got to move and clout chase these days. They have to do things differently from what we did. I have no advice. The only advice I have is to have money, have finance, and be a finance guy around it, or hire a finance guy around. If you're a creative, hire a finance guy. And if you're a finance guy, hire creatives. And hire consultants, man. This stuff, everybody looks at money. Like, people come to me and I'll be like, yo, I'll help you consult you. Like, yeah, it's $2,500 up front. They'd be like, $2,500, but you know how much money I want to save you from the mistakes? Right. People don't get that. Youth don't get that. They want to go YouTube and Google and try to figure it out and go to a trade show and be around people taking pictures with them and having a Louis belt on, and that's success because of the likes. Just like we just said, I got 3,000 followers, all right? I had the best year. 2018 was one of the best years I ever had at Leaders, when everybody said we're done, we're over, we got smaller. We sold like 500 pairs of shoes in December, 400 t-shirts, 300 hoodies, 200 pairs of socks, 150 hats. Like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? We keep it that way. I'd rather sacrifice that of having no followers in a successful business and my employees are good and in a good spot than having 100,000 followers and stressed of how you maintaining and keeping up with this life. And how you got to take a picture with another famous guy to get the likes that you need, or you're no one. You know, I'd rather do that all day. So I don't know what to tell them. That's what they have to do. I didn't have to do that. Right. I'm done. I'm in the game. It's 23 years for me. I'm in to win. You know what I'm saying? So
your slot pretty much.
I'm not going nowhere. All right.
Solidified.
I'm not. It's a book that came out in the 1980s that's saying that our culture, Generation X, we're going to wear sneakers forever. So I don't need the youth. I didn't have to chase trends and redo things to capture millennials. When you go on LinkedIn, everybody's trying to get the millennial dollar. I don't need the millennial dollar. I don't need the Generation Z dollar. I got the X, and I got, you know what I'm saying, the people beyond that who just wants to come in and get a nice pair of shoes. Yeah. You know, so we figured out our customer, and we still got some more to go because, you know, we're all about the 1% globally now. We want the 1% global.
Yeah.
You know.
And one thing that people need to understand is that even though Leaders is a Chicago location, this is not no local thing. This is something that's worldwide. Honestly, you travel. I mean, what, like Germany? You done been to Africa, like South America, like what? Like you traveled all over the world. Like, what was some of the things that you took away from traveling like that?
That I can be anywhere and not speak a language and be okay. That they would love me for being genuine, and humble, and my eye contact and my conversation and my handshake and my aura and their aura is the same as anywhere else, and that you can problem solve. It's a test, and you know, I don't go take vacations. I have ambassadors throughout the world. I have people who love Leaders, who wants it in Cape Town, Joburg, Haiti, Nigeria, you know, Bali. So everywhere I took something Leaders in Berlin, like they've worn it, and I have a place to stay. They're gonna take me around. They embrace. They show me their culture to embrace, and I give them back something also of Chicago and what we do. And so we try to do business with these people, and we're working on that. The global initiative of leadership is that's how we always been. It's like getting outside of Chicago,
Right.
You know, because my relationships, honestly, my success comes from New York and LA. Those were the people I knew where I wanted to be. You know, they taught me how to make money. They mentored me, my New York constituents and my Los Angeles constituents, because that's really what the market was. Chicago had none, basically.
Yeah.
You know, so those are the people that vouch for me, and those are my relationships to give me the best brands, to give me the best deals, or put a word in someone's ear about considering opening us up or giving us $100,000 credit line or doing an event at the store. You know, like Pharrell, I was the only store that Pharrell has visited and signed 500 to 600 autographs by himself, as well with Chad and Hugo. So it's just the experience of with people globally, and all types of educators, non-for-profit, you know, politicians, artists, mural artists, or rappers, or whatever you want to be, poets, graphic designers. We try to work with as many people as possible, and in different cultures also, Asian, white, Jewish, Hispanic, Black. We've worked with all kinds. We've hired all kinds, gay, straight, whatever. Like, they've been a part of the Leaders family.
Yeah, big facts. So just stepping away from the retail aspect of clothing and everything like that, because that's not the where your legacy ends. You know, that's just a part of it. So, like, I know you're doing a lot right now with your company, Focus Group, and Boxville. You got your restaurant, Freestyle. So let's talk about those things just for a little bit. Like Boxville, for example. A lot of people don't understand why Boxville is where it is and why it's there. Can you explain to the people that don't know? I know.
Well, we wanted to go to a place. Well, it's Bernard Lloyd's, one of my mentors, Dr. Bernard Lloyd, MIT grad. I wanted to learn community development. And so, knowing my relationships, AD, I was talking to one of my good friends, so I worked at Varsity before. We have a 20-year relationship. He's like, yeah, my girlfriend, Karan, works at Urban Junction. You should meet her. They got a shipping container. They do what they call the bite box. He introduced me to her, and we just hit it just like that. She introduced me to Bernard Lloyd. We hit it just like that, and we went from one container to bite box. Now we have 13 containers. And it's for revitalization of 51st Street. Bronzeville community, because Bronzeville was known as the policy area where Black-owned businesses thrived in the 1920s and 30s. We wanted to bring that back, because if you look now, we don't have successful communities globally, all right? Whether it be Baltimore, New York, Chicago, LA, our communities aren't really viable with things that people need. But we have entrepreneurs and people who want to be entrepreneurs who just cannot get the finance. That's the new slavery, is that we don't have the finance to open these businesses up, and we're not getting the loans, we're not getting the grants. So we wanted to, Bernard knows how to get the grants, okay? So we would get shipping containers and build them out, and we'll have a space where people with $100 in their bank account, but they have product, they can come out and sell their product and be successful. They can market that. They can gain new customers. They can get out here and sell their vision to, if it's 1 or 2 people, if it's 10 or 15 new customers, you gain customers.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what Boxville is all about. It's the enrichment of the entrepreneur, but the enrichment of a community on 51st Street in the Bronzeville, Washington Park area.
Right, that's why I definitely want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about what you're doing, that freestyle. Like I said earlier in the interview, you put me up on a pommes frites. You know what I'm saying? The French fry and I was like, again, I'm going to reference the Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody because I really want y'all to tune in to them, subscribe to them also. That's when you had said, you was in Germany, and that's when you found out about the process that they cook their fries.
No, it was Amsterdam. I went to Amsterdam and Brussels, Belgium.
Oh, okay, Belgium,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
And like, like you were saying, people write a bad review because they don't understand lamb and
Yeah, it's okay though. We'll get them there.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But I want to spend a small time just educating people on the process that you actually putting behind bringing these dishes to these areas so they can actually be put on game. You elevating their consciousness in a way.
But see, this is an ego thing. I have an ego, so I got in the restaurant business because not everybody can get into this and do this.
It's tough.
I want to challenge myself
Mm.
to say I'm that good. I can have a successful restaurant.
Right.
So I went to Europe, Amsterdam, and Belgium. And I just saw like they had great fries. It was a pommes frites and how they took the starch out and blanched them. Like the process of that, not selling frozen coated fries like most of your restaurants here in Chicago, the unhealthy stuff that people are addicted to, all right, with salt and pepper and stuff like that. So I wanted to bring it back and flip it. So that was the concept of what we did. We put protein on ours and we created our own sauces and did different things to the fry. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we wanted to do, is give a different philosophy of how we can do more with it and not just the same thing.
Yeah, because my personal favorite dish is definitely the Alfredo.
Okay, like
You know
chicken out of creamy chicken.
Yeah, because I like the Alfredo, and the fact that you're not using noodles in your Alfredo is the chicken with the sauce with the pommes frites fries.
And Alfredo sauce.
And I love that. You know what I'm saying? I also like the Italian beef.
Okay,
No,
the giardiniera cheese.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Them two, every time I go, them my go-to moves. You know what I'm saying? And I also get GLC, his
water, alkaline water. So
yeah,
we do the same thing there as here. So my chef Chuck G, will be the next chef. He would be the Joe Fresh Goods or the Vic Petrie or the Alonzo Jacksons of the Food Culinary Institute. And we collaborate with other restaurants. We collaborated with Soul Taco, Triple Crown Shy, Kimski's in Bridgeport, Lighthouse, and we're working with something with Mickey's. And other people are coming to us like, let's collaborate, let's work on this, let's work on that. So we took the fashion element of working together and building people and building relationships to the food business also, the hospitality business. Yeah. That's just what we are. We're all about building, creating, and thinking of things outside of the box.
Right.
What can we expose the community of people to? And let's have fun with it.
Right.
Yes, definitely.
Then that's dope, man. But like, one thing that I always, it's a common theme in my interviews. You watch a lot of my interviews, but it's a common theme. I always talk about how we, as a community, need to keep our dollars circulating because, I mean, people, you look at the Chinese people, for example, they got Chinatown. Mm-hmm. They hardly ever leave Chinatown. Mm-hmm. They spend all their dollars right there. You got an Armenian community, you got the Greek community, you got Polish community, Italians. They keep their dollars in a neighborhood. And we don't see that enough. Like I see it, but I don't think we see it enough to where black people specifically don't understand the value and the power of their dollar and how it impacts their community when they take their dollar out the community.
Face is just, that's an hour conversation. They don't care to. They don't want to.
Do you think it's a way to, besides what you're doing already, you just putting in the work, you know what I'm saying? But do you think it's a way to like wake up people awareness about this?
Nah. Only few, the 1%. Our initiative is the 1% of the global economy of like-minded consciousness.
Right.
Just people are slaves. Elijah Muhammad, the prophet Elijah Muhammad said this. They said this in Clarence X Mathematics, Supreme Mathematics. 85% of the deaf, dumb, and blind. The 10% teach the deaf, dumb, and blind, and the 5% are the righteous leaders. There's no way to go outside. It's math and it's facts. So just go after the 1 to 5%. That's why I say the 1%. If I got the 1% of the world, I'm so successful. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I just think the 400 years of slavery, COINTELPRO and things of that nature, it scared us, it ruined us, and I don't think I'll see it. I don't think my kids will see it in their lifetime of our culture coming together to do things.
That's actually one thing I was going to ask you, because it wasn't last year, maybe the year before that, when Black Panther movie came out, like everybody was on this Wakanda thing, and I'm like, man.
The next week it went back to what it was.
Yeah, but I'm the whole time I'm sitting there looking at everybody with this, they dressing up like it was cool.
Cosplay.
It was a real cool moment to look at. But like then I'm looking like, man, if we can maintain some of this momentum, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you think we can ever see like a real life Wakanda? Like, and I like
we don't trust each other to do that.
Right.
We give each other a hard time, and we throw each other under the bus under one bad experience or anything, a bad exchange or whatever. Things, forget that. But with other cultures, it's an apology, it's an acceptance of, hey, let's forgive, but we don't forgive each other whatsoever.
Yeah, because man, you can that apply to everything from NBA to NFL, whatever you like. Like them NFL owners, they done said some crazy stuff,
and people still watching.
They'll come right to the podium. We didn't mean it like that. We apologize.
Oh no, we didn't mean it like that. Take a knee and see what's happening, and everybody went back to watching it. It's you just do. You got to do what you got to do with people and for people, but push it on someone else. Nah, it's just I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm just going to
focus
out
on
the
the
way.
people that can't receive.
OTW. I'm out the way.
Yeah.
You give me good energy, you getting it back. If you doing things and I mess with, you mess with me, and we doing things, we collaborating, we working together. You can have this conversation. But if you trying to use me or do this and do that, it's over with. I mean, it ain't happening.
One of the last things that I want to talk about, and I feel like I'm very comfortable with asking you this question because you are somebody who really walk this path in a real way, is the importance of ownership. Like owning your if you're a rap artist, owning your masters. If you got a brand, like owning that. If you wanna get a house, owning that. You know, just ownership in our community. How do you how can we stress the importance of that?
Well, ownership has its perks and its downs. It has its ups and downs. It depends on the person and how strong they are. Like, yeah, I can own all this stuff, but I know that mostly everybody's intentions are for me to be able to pay them, for them to live. Like, no one wants to hear, oh, it's bad, or we made a mistake. It's payroll, right? It's payday, right? So, not everybody can do it, but definitely, if you're a musician, you should own your stuff. But if you don't want to own your stuff, you just want to get your money and go spend it wherever you got to spend it, hey, it's up to you. The good thing with music is it's creative. It never goes anywhere.
Right.
So you can make mistakes into that and have people own it, but you can always come up with something and own it and figure it out. But definitely ownership is something that we lack as a people, but not me again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I try to mess with people who are about that, you know, who live by those standards, and we can have a conversation to help each other with real estate taxes or, you know, different things, a lingo of bank financing that we have to do.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating when people want to come to you and did all this and didn't know it and ask you these questions, and you like, you didn't know this?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, but you'll be surprised a lot of them.
I mean, I already know. I know, bro, these new brands and stuff like that, they can't tell me how much they make in a week, a month. They don't even know their numbers. I can ask them 3 questions and know, like, you don't know how to run your business, but these are the people who have 50,000 followers, 40,000 followers. They don't know how to run a business.
Hey,
you know?
It is what it is, you know? But one thing that I hope people take away from this is that to understand that when I'm the person that I'm sitting down with is even though he might be blunt, he might be straightforward, straight to the point, don't beat around the bush, but it come from a real place, you know what I'm saying? If he tell you your shit whack, it's because he want to see you come up with something better, you know what I'm saying? And,
but not to cut you off, this is what, if you were wholesaling, or if you went to Zoomies, like when we were wholesaling, this is what the Asian, the Arab, the black guy would say, be like, man, that shit look terrible. What the fuck is that?
right,
Man, don't show me that.
right.
You gonna get mad and be like, man, I'm packing my stuff up, man, I'm about to go. And this guy can still write you a $5,000 PO.
Right.
Like, keep going to the next one.
Right.
Like, harsh criticism is part of our business. It's part of the music business, the fashion business, the art business, the entertainment business. Like, I'm just trying to show you how to have thick skin and keep it moving and go back and retaliate with something else to say and try to get it to sell. Tell the story of the shirt of why you don't like it. Try to sell it more. Tell the story of why you designed it. Work harder at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the thing with the youth. They just give up.
Yeah,
Just
and,
like
and,
that.
and like I keep going back to the times we live in because we live in a town with so many yes men.
Oh, pat in the back. Oh, you're gonna be okay.
Oh, you're gonna make it, man.
Oh, you great, man.
Everything going
You're the
good.
best in the world.
Just keep
You're
at
gonna
it.
be awesome.
Just keep pushing that. Keep pushing that right there. That design right there. Just
You're
keep
better
pushing.
than Hebrew.
Right. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
better than Kanye. Yes.
Yeah.
I know we gotta go to McDonald's after this, but you're better than him. You're better.
Right.
That's what they want.
That's what I'm saying. So when in the times we live in, like it's a breath of fresh air when I come across a guy like you or a guy like Diego, Big D from
Sage,
Sage,
so
Sage.
everybody.
Yeah,
you know
you know what I'm saying? It's really a breath of fresh air when
Tony, my boy Tony, we were just in Cuba together.
Yeah.
We got a business deal, me and Tony Fernandez. We doing things in Cuba and the Caribbean, so that's my brother right there. The king of the sneaker stuff, who started it,
Hey.
along with the upstairs and City Sports, Tony Fernandez.
And if you're not familiar with Tony Fernandez, Tony Sports, we got an interview with them. But Tony also, definitely check that out. We flew out of town to get that, and it was worth every mile that we traveled.
Sorry, young guys, I can't shout you out if you haven't been 20 years in. All right, get 20 years in, I give you all the love in the world.
Big
Catch
dog
up.
status. Flight School TV, man. We out.
Leaders was my first shot at designing for a major streetwear, pretty much label. And so because of that, I'm indebted into Leaders in a certain type of way. And in terms of what it meant to Chicago, I mean, Leaders was the first store to really give you that authentic streetwear boutique experience. Very early on, a lot of the offerings, a lot of brands that was there we were the only spot in the city where you could get those things. So it's you know, an introduction to streetwear to the Midwest, I think.
And Chance the Rapper was just somebody that was in the
He was just a shorty in the store all the time, like in the store dancing, talking. So I was at an event and my son saw him, and he went crazy like, "Oh my God, oh Dad, that's Chance the Rapper." I'm like, "Nah, that shorty be in the store dancing." I'm like, "You Chance the Rapper?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, Taylor Bennett." But my son graduated with Taylor, so I didn't see the greatness come through him. And I don't feel he get his just due, because without Leaders, you wouldn't have the fashion geeks, you wouldn't have the successes, you wouldn't have Fat Tiger.
these niggas.
Not to say I'm not on the shit he's on. I just saw him groom a lot of these dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Leaders, I feel like one thing that I really feel is like, I feel like everybody should have a Leaders hat, right? It's like the beginning and the end of streetwear in Chicago.